Welcome to All In on Tech, the discussions organized by Smart-EDU Hub. This is our 7th episode, and today we're talking about how GenAI is transforming our lives.
Okay, let's get into it. We're doing a deep dive today based on a really fantastic article by Catalin Vroby. It basically synthesizes over 50 papers from the Trust 2025 conference, which the Smart-EDU Hub Center at SNSPA held not long ago. And the main takeaway, the mission for us today, is to unpack this idea that GenAI is shifting. It's moving from just an efficiency assistant to something the researchers call a co-pilot existential.
Exactly. It's a fundamental change. And what's so interesting, what the research points to, is that the biggest area of change isn't what you'd expect, like work or productivity. It's emotional and psychological support. That's emerging as the #1 domain. It really shows a growing trust from the public in these digital partners. I mean, you look at chatbots like Wysa or Replica, they're not just for casual conversation anymore. They're now offering clinically validated cognitive behavioral protocols.
And here's the kicker. A study in Nature from May 2025, so just a few months ago, found that new users of these AI companions, they actually showed a reduction in anxiety scores.
After how long?
After just 3 weeks of use.
That's incredible. But doesn't that open up the question of dependency? I mean, are we just offloading our emotional health?
That's the critical question, and the study looked at that specifically. It found that users did not show significant indicators of dependency.
Okay.
So the AI seems to be acting as a kind of healthy, temporary support structure, not a replacement for human connection.
It really puts the evolution into perspective. You think back to something like Eliza from MIT in, 1966? It would lose track of a conversation in just a few exchanges.
Oh, completely. And now you compare that to GPT 4.5, which isn't just trying to be accurate. It's striving for, contextual reasoning, real emotional attunement.
And that attunement is bleeding into other areas, like organizing our lives, GenAI as a digital mentor.
An existential counselor, even.
We're seeing these new multimodal systems, ChatGPT, Gemini, that can pull everything together, right? Your calendar, your notes, your long-term goals, all in one flow. People are really starting to delegate huge parts of their life structure to an AI.
And that idea of a co-pilot brings us back to efficiency, which is where it all started. Developer trust is growing again. We're sort of revisiting that idea of Programmeria 2.0.
So AI isn't just writing code, it's helping optimize and debug it.
Exactly. And the corporate adoption is. It's just huge. Microsoft is reporting a 79% active adoption rate for its 365 Copilot.
And they're putting a dedicated key on new laptops just for that. That says everything.
It does. And you see Google's Gemini automatically summarizing massive email threads or even pulling action items out of video recordings in Drive.
Is there any data on the impact?
Yeah, internal Google surveys show it reduces time spent on documentation by an average of 12%. The transition from assistant to Copilot is pretty much complete there.
So if it's organizing our work documents, the article suggests it's now moving into our homes, our families.
Right into the nursery.
At CES 2025, we saw things like LV Rise, that smart bassinet that analyzes a baby's sleep patterns. Or, Smart Cribs using radar.
To detect dirty diapers, yes.
It's amazing. Even parenting advice itself, like Dr. Becky's Good Insight app, it's basically turning complex psychology into an AI coach in your pocket.
But all of this deep personal integration, it means we absolutely have to talk about governance and ethics.
It's the essential challenge, isn't it? Privacy, accountability.
Right. How do you regulate something that's becoming so intimate?
Well, the regulation is trying to catch up. The first part of the EU AI Act became applicable in February 2025.
And it's already setting some clear lines.
Yeah.
It's defining prohibited uses, like real-time facial recognition without a warrant, and it's demanding transparency, especially from U.S. federal agencies.
So the core idea is if we're going to trust GenAI as this existential co-pilot, the infrastructure has to be transparent.
It has to be.
The whole transformation is it's undeniable. GenAI is now deeply personal. I think the real challenge for 2026 is making this whole system a truly trustworthy, accessible platform for everyone, without giving up our digital rights or our creativity in the process. Thank you so much for joining this deep dive. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Smart-EDU Hub channel to be the first to get our new content. And of course, a link to the article we've talked about is right there in the description below. Goodbye.